that let them do more investigation. Judy, that they will come and say there are 20 shops here. This is the shop. That is the person we are looking for. But this sitting off, then you round so many people, then you say you're going to vet, then they are not leaving police for free, the inconvenience that is there. I'm not an expert in security, but for the time I've spent in media, right, I've come to learn that we need to do more. When we use the word intelligence-led, it is like, Julie, your husband is cheating. I'm not saying he is, but he's cheating and has another wife. Now, they tell you the wife works at UBC. And then because you know she works at UBC, you just come and attack any female around UBC. Or you attack a number and then you say you're vetting. I think it would be proper for you. It's okay. She works at UBC. She's called Jane. She's called Dora. You come for Dora and say, can we have a one-on-one talk? So and so is married. I'm the wife. Please stop this affair. So I still don't understand. We need these operations, no doubt. Right. But that's, you get 200 people. Take them, load them. Right. You're not going to wake up and say you're innocent. Go, you're innocent. Go, you're innocent. Go. It's a process. And that process, in most of the times, this I say because I've seen and I've been part of, people do not just walk out. Do not just walk out. Right. Yes.
Very well indeed. Now it's about 23 minutes to 7 a.m. in the morning, and if you're still a sleepyhead while your TV set is on, it's that time to let you know that wake up, wake up, wake up. The day has started already, but also an opportunity, pardon me, to say thank you for allowing us start your day with you. On that note, let's have an update of what we have on the local scene first. Robert.
Oh, what better way to start than the swearing in, right, of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President-elect of the Republic of Uganda. Now, government has announced a nationwide special prayers for President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni ahead of the inauguration on the 12th of May this year. Now, according to the Permanent Secretary Office of the President, Hajun Skakande, special dignitaries will attend all the prayer sessions starting Friday 8th until 10th of May this year. Tuesday 12th May 2026, President Yoweri Museveni will head for the 7th inauguration at Kololo Independence Grounds. The swearing-in National Organizing Committee has embarked on preparations. This will be accompanied by countrywide special prayers. The Permanent Secretary Office of the President, also the front member of the Inauguration Organization Committee, Hajun Skakande, told UBC that over 56 heads of government have been invited. According to Uganda's ambassador to Tanzania, Mozambique, Malawi, Madagascar and Zambia, 2 heads of state from this corridor have confirmed attendance. The National Organizing Committee invites all Ugandans to turn up and be part of the historical moment. President Yoweri Museveni has hosted a luncheon in honor of the outgoing cabinet at State House Entebbe. During the event, President Museveni commended members for their service and contribution to Uganda's socio-economic transformation. He also praised the cabinet for its historic role in steering the country to a middle-income status, noting that the milestone reflects collective effort, discipline, and commitment. The president also acknowledged that team's role in the recent electoral process, describing the outcome as a collective achievement while expressing confidence in continued economic growth in the coming term. On the other hand, President Museveni emphasized the need for strong ethical leadership, calling for renewed commitment to integrity, accountability, and patriotism in public service. Uganda prison has clarified that although Christopher Okello Oyum was sentenced to death last week by the High Court of Uganda, he can appeal the sentence. Uganda Prison spokesperson, Commissioner Corporate Affairs Frank Bamwine, when the president authorizes the execution, he expressed readiness for execution as the process is required by law. On Thursday, 30th of April this year, the High Court of Uganda, under the seal of Justice Alice Komuhangi, sentenced to death Christopher Okello Onyum after finding him guilty for murdering 4 juveniles. The sentence has since sent the country into a divided discussion, with many concerned of what will happen next. Frank Baine told UBC that Onyum's still are subject to fairness, and why delay someone who has been fairly tried by a competent court? The 2019 Act allows President Museveni 3 years to sign an execution order, and if it elapses with no decision, this opens one door away from death. Uganda Prison claims readiness to execute the order. We also thought from Baine how easy the job is, or if there is any specific encountered. Remember, 27 years ago in 1999 was the last execution. So Okello Onyum joins other 29 inmates on death sentence. Meanwhile, there has been repeated calls for human rights defenders and religious leaders to stop death by hanging, but prisons authorities seem not to hear this. And finally, from the local scene, the Katikkiro of Uganda Kingdom, Charles Peter Mayiga, has called upon government to prioritize fighting corruption and respect of human rights in the new term. He was addressing Buganda Rukiiko during the State of the Kingdom address at Bulange, Mengo. The Buganda Rukiiko members convened at Bulange, Mengo for the first sitting of Rukiiko in the year 2026. The Katikkiro of Uganda, Charles Peter Mayiga, presented the current State of the Kingdom address and how it is progressing. Katikkiro Mayiga outlined some of the achievements so far, all aligned with the new strategic plan known as Situra or Mutindo. Under this plan, priority areas include education, agriculture, and health. Mayiga also spoke about the controversial bill being promoted by the government, which is intended to strengthen Uganda's sovereignty. He also hinted on elections held earlier this year, noting the irregularities including violation of human rights and press freedom. Regarding the outgoing urban redevelopment operations under the trade order, he emphasized that they should be carried out through consultations and mutual understanding. Buganda Rukiiko passed 9 resolutions, including congratulating the Kabaka upon his 71st birthday, condemning violence and violation of human rights by security operatives, and welcomed the Situra or Mutindo initiative. Now, that is what we were able to get you regarding the local scene. Let's see what Julie has for us on the international scene this morning.
Right, thank you very much, Robert. And starting off with what we have on the global scene, matters China. A blast at a fireworks factory in China's Yunnan province has killed 21 people and left 61 wounded, according to state media. The explosion at the Wansheng fireworks plant happened at around 1640 local time on Monday in the city of Yuang. Pardon me. That is in the city of Yuang, and getting rescuers to evacuate everyone within a 3-kilometer radius of the plant. Authorities deployed nearly 500 personnel to conduct search and rescue operations and treat the injured, while robots were used to help find those trapped within the building. You can tell where China It's a sad story, but by the time they're using robots to help in the rescue mission.
We also have sniffer dogs.
First chill.
They have arrested a lot of people.
I know, but we're speaking of a whole generation of robots, AI, being active and making decisions. But moving on, police who are investigating the cause of the blast have taken control measures against the person in charge of the fireworks company, Chinese state media reported. Authorities said that 2 gunpowder warehouses within the factory area posed a high risk amid rescue efforts. State media reported rescue teams had to evacuate everyone within a 3-kilometer radius of the fireworks plant. They also implemented measures like humidifying the area to prevent secondary accidents during the rescue. The impact of the blast was so destructive that windows of a residential building near the factory were also shattered, a CCTV reporter noted in a televised broadcast from the scene. Now let's move on. President Donald Trump says that the U.S. has tracked 7 Iranian fast boats in the Strait of Hormuz as Washington seeks to guide stranded ships out of the Gulf through the largely closed waterway. The UAE and South Korea both reported strikes on the ships in the vital channel on Monday. The UAE also said a fire broke out at the oil port of Fujairah after an Iranian attack. Shipping company Maersk told the BBC that one of its U.S.-flagged vessels had successfully exited the strait with U.S. military protection under what Trump has called Project Freedom. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said that events in the strait make clear that there's no military solution to a political crisis. He added, Project Freedom is Project Deadlock. Maersk said the transit of one of its commercial vessels was completed without incident and all crew members were safe and unharmed. The Strait of Hormuz has remained largely blocked since the U.S. and Israel launched airstrikes on Iran in February. Tehran responded by blocking the crucial waterway through which 20% of the world's oil and liquefied natural gas usually passes. In early April, the U.S. and Iran announced a ceasefire under which Iran ended its drone missile strikes on Gulf countries, including the UAE, but few vessels have been able to transit the strait since then. The U.S. also imposed its own blockade on Iranian ports. Trump said, "We've shot down 7 small boats, or as they like to call them, fast boats." And finally, onto the continent, Mali's military leader, General Assimi Goïta, has taken over as defense minister after the officer who previously held the post was killed in a wave of surprise attacks. The West African country remains in a security crisis more than a week after an alliance of jihadists and separatist rebels launched their nationwide raids. During the offensive, Defense Minister Sadio Kamara was killed in an apparent suicide truck bombing on his residence near the capital, Bamako. A decree read on state television on Monday said Goïta would replace Kamara as Defense Minister. He will be assisted by Army Chief of Staff General Omar Diarra, who has been appointed Minister Delegate. Goïta's decision to simultaneously lead the presidency and the defense ministry is likely to be interpreted as an attempt to consolidate power at a time when his authority appears to be threatened. On 25th April, residents in cities and towns across Mali woke to gunfire and explosion as an alliance of 2 groups, the separatist Azawad Liberation Front and the Al-Qaeda-linked JNIM, launched coordinated attacks. The insurgents have since imposed a partial blockade on Bamako and other cities. And that brings us to the end of what we have on the global scene this morning. Let's have a look at what the dailies carry. Robert.
Well, starting with the New Vision this morning, there's a picture of a border rider carrying 9 children. 9 children, look at that.
And an adult.
And a border rider arrested transporting 9 children at a go. Now, in case of an accident, you can't tell what can, none may survive.
And it's said that all the children are from one house, one family. So that means, of course, even by the time the children are on that border, the parents okayed it.
But you see, the parent, I look at one, maybe the mother, but no, this is also another child carrying a child. Now, you who is going to ride, it comes back to you. What is your ability? You just, in terms of balancing, in terms of braking, in terms of, there are things you, the driver, we hold you responsible. We will ignore the parent because they're not riding this motorcycle, but you. And I hope he feels a test, and this deters others, the way they load kids, most of during school time.
Right.
Now, hospitals with injections for HIV prevention. I say that with a smile. Now, the new vision gives you those hospitals. Get to know these hospitals. You take this twice a year. And can you imagine? You can't contract HIV. Science. And sometimes when I see these, I think of the people we lost in the 1980s.
Right.
And also, I wish if they were here today, where you can now get an injection and you're good to go. Also, just to point out, it's not a place for you to prevent pregnancy. For some, it was written in the dailies yesterday. Of course, it doesn't prevent pregnancy, but still science has done us good. Even when it comes to prevention of pregnancy. There are so many methods. Though some are misused, like the morning after pill. That one has been misused by adolescents so much. But today, pregnancy is by choice. Now, moving on, burglars steal 7 laptops from Bank of Uganda. We were told our money is safe and all operations are going on smoothly. Bank of Uganda, when I pass there, I see a lot of security. Not even allowed to park. Then Uganda ordered to pay Rift Valley Rally, that is Ray, that is 522 billion shillings. And still Uganda to start manufacturing drugs. Which drugs? Sickle cells. Julie, we need to clap for our country.
Indeed.
We just had a successful bone marrow transplant.
Yep.
If you remember, now here are sickle cells drugs. People who understand sickle cells, this disease, some of us, when you talk about sickle cells, we do understand. But it's one of the diseases, and it's genetic moreover, that if you can and your lovers, actually, it must be mandatory like HIV testing is.
Right.
Julie, you're dating Robert, before anything, please go and carry out a sickle cells test. If you're not compatible, leave it. But having a warrior, come from a family of warriors. Having a warrior, I'm a carrier, is something very disturbing. Now, moving on, we go to the Daily Monitor this morning. How your MP will vote today. How the sovereignty bill will affect political parties, civil society. And then Museveni amendments revealed. Drama unfolds in Munyonyo inside the minority report. Minority report now, that is regarding that bill. Still, how thugs broke into Bank of Uganda premises. Youth put hopes in sports betting as joblessness bites harder. But sports betting, Arsenal will take the Premier and champion. That is an obvious. So someone can bet that and they will get some money. But also many have even lost the little they have in hopes that someone wishes them to be rich. And the lizard comes in. Youth put hopes in sports betting as joblessness bites. Then he says, the house always wins. Well, the lizard, this time I didn't get you well, but Julie understands you better. And let's look at what Tanzania and Kenya have for us.
Right, this morning, let's take a look at what the Daily Nation has for us, and that is representing Kenya. The Daily Nation in there, the headline is going after Uhuru's hefty parks. That's the headline, and Jubilee Defense Party leader claims state is denying him some retirement benefits. Still in the Daily Nation, why SHA numbers don't add up, report says. And debt crisis as 1.3 trillion shillings to pay interest on loans. And Oburu's ODM faction seeks to heal the rift in new power play. Those are some of the stories that we do have in the dailies, and brings us to the end of what we have today from the dailies, allowing us and you to take a short break, allowing you to make that morning coffee, and allowing us to also sip on whatever coffee we have as we prepare to look at the sovereignty bill and understanding it in its current format. 0709602592 by text WhatsApp, be part of the conversation in just a bit. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
A very good morning to you. It's a Tuesday, the 5th of May, 2026. And the day before it, another heist on the Bank of Uganda as 7 laptops belonging to the bank's commercial offices were stolen. Now, according to the Daily Monitor states that according to preliminary police investigations, the culprits who struck on Monday morning allegedly colluded with some staff members and part of the security team. They gained entry through the gate opposite City Square, slipped into the commercial building, lingered there for nearly 3 hours, and thereafter did whatever they did. And alas, 7 laptops stolen from the Bank of Uganda. It's a Tuesday morning, a very good one to you. And in case you're not having a good one, of course, we do pray that the Lord hugs you with his love. For as long as you're still alive, there's always still hope. My name is Julie F. Nantaba with Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono, and together we come to you live from the Nile Avenue on UBC TV. Robert, good morning.
A lovely morning to you, Julie, and our viewer. Thank you very much for waking up with us this new day, because for me, I believe every day has got its own challenges, true, but also great opportunities as well.
As it is, each new day comes with new masses. There's new masses every morning.
However, to some business people on some markets, to be very specific, Mutasa Kafero, things could not have been very easy. It's not a good morning, as there's some could have spent the night in coolers or in cells. Now, yesterday, according to police, that following an intelligence-led operation, if you are around Kampala, around Mutasa Kafelo plazas there, you saw how the army and police in a joint operation sealed off these arcades, and they were looking for allegedly stolen equipment that looked for phones, laptops, computers. According to the Kampala Metropolitan Police spokesperson Rachel Kawala, she said it was an intelligence-led operation that led to the arrest of so many. And they believe that these people are dealing, there's a racket dealing in stolen property. Now, the only thing that I didn't understand very well is when she came up and said this operation is similar to what happened in Wansanso at Muganzi Raza. Now, there is a place in Muganzi Raza, it's called Wansanso Village.
Okay.
This place is known for stolen motorcycles. These borders, they will steal, sometimes they kill these riders, and then they sell spare parts. So they'll get a motorcycle, then of course dismantle it, then sell spares. Now, it is known that this is where these stolen items are sold. And it is known that even if someone wanted that spare of something, he would go there and find it in Wakasanso zone. But every time these people come and make those rounds, one thing is clear. They arrest a lot of innocent people. The last operation, I know they arrest so many and they vet, fine, but also the people that are released,
but one would also wonder, why are these operations carried out?
Like the last time, we had mechanics, because that is the area I understand very well. mechanics who don't deal even in both.